Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Overland 870 podcast. I'm your host, Brad, and tonight we have a very special guest with us, Josh from Arkansas Offroad Recovery. How are you doing tonight, Josh?
I'm doing pretty good.
And of course, we have Stephen Moore sitting in with us tonight. I know, I know you guys were expecting the feral chicks to be here. I know that's probably the only reason why most of you tuned in is because you thought Gina and Jesse were going to be on talking about Maris. But no, we have a better guest tonight. We have a way better guest tonight. Somebody who actually goes out into the Ozarks and rescues people like me. So
That's what we do.
Yeah, that's what he does. So Josh, I'm just going to kind of barrel right on into this. So, I mean, everybody knows that you've got this off-road recovery business and you're out doing that. What possessed you to start going out rescuing fools like me and Stefan? Because obviously you must have a huge heart. So
it kind of started off with two main reasons. One, I kept hearing stories about people getting stuck places and there was no record companies would come get them. So they get stuck somewhere and it was just a mess. Locals were helping them and stuff like that. So it seemed like there was a hole in the market. And then I also do a lot of stuff out there. And I figured, you know what, I'm going to get myself in trouble one of these days, and I'm going to need to go get my own wrecker to come get my whatever other vehicle I'm driving out. So I might as well go ahead and start building a wrecker.
And that's cool, man. That's really awesome that you did that. And I'm sure there are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that are happy that you have gone out and pulled them out of some bad places. But does the phone stop ringing? Because you get like the 2:30 in the morning calls.
We really don't get that many. The kind of cool thing about the Ozarks and Arkansas in general, especially on the weekend, which is when most people are out there, if you get stuck in a mud hole and you hang on about 15 minutes, there's going to be about 10 people roll by and it's going to make their day to get to pull you out. So if we get the call, it's usually pretty bad.
Yes, that's rough. I would be the guy if I was doing what you're doing. Obviously, we go out. Stefan's done some recoveries. We've all done recoveries being out there. We've sunk stuff. We pulled people out. But generally, like you said, when you get out there, you roll up on something and you got the Suzuki Sidekick or the Subaru is buried up to the windows and it's been sitting there for 2 days, and you got to forcibly drag this thing out and then try to drag it back through everything that they got there in a wrecker. And that's impressive in itself. So, have you got to some spots that you couldn't get a wrecker into and you had to come up with some ingenious way to get this thing out?
Not really. The only one that we couldn't get the wrecker to was a full-size truck on one of the four-wheeler trails.
Yeah,
they weren't supposed to be in there, and I went in on my four-wheeler, kind of scouted it out. Then we ended up being. I was just like, "Hey, man, I can't help you without getting everybody in trouble. So, if you want me to help, I can leave, and you can figure this out on your own, or I can call the ranger for you, and he can probably open that gate over there, and you can drive this thing right out." And that's pretty much what happened. So, but most of the time, I've been able to get the wrecker everywhere that I needed to go. So there's definitely places I can't go yet until I get the build done, but currently it's worked so far.
Well, let's talk about that right there, the build. So like to the general looking at it, you've got a truck with a wrecker bed on the back of it and everything, but this is not just your standard everyday wrecker that you're running out there. You've done a lot of stuff to it to get where you're going, right? So like what's some of the cool stuff that you've done to it?
So I'm about maybe a quarter of the way through with the build. I got a lot more things I want to do. So right now it's actually pretty basic. It's a 1988 Chevy V30, which is the same as a K30. It's just they kept the square body a little bit longer. So it's a cab and chassis truck, and I specifically got that one because it's got a dually rear end, but it's a super narrow dually, so way narrower than your modern dually. And there's some regulations with the state that we're not currently a towing company officially. We just do volunteer work basically. But if we get licensed by the state, there's some regulations on-road towing that you got to have a dually. So we'll see what we do with that at some point. But that's kind of why I originally got it. And then we got a Holmes 440 bed and wrecker boom for it, which is old stuff, but it's just basic and reliable. We cut that bed in half, narrowed it. I think we cut about 6 inches out of it to narrow it down, get this thing as small as possible so it can go as many places, but still be capable. And it's got the old 454 big block V8 in it, manual transmission, got the Dana 60 front axles. It's just a heavy duty old truck, leaf springs, rides like a brick, but it goes impressive number of places for an old heavy truck.
Locked. It's locked too, though, ain't it?
It's not currently. I want to put lockers in it, but currently it's stock suspension, open diffs, and like 33-inch tires. So eventually I'll get bigger and I'll put lockers.
Stuff I've seen you do, I figured it was locked. It just makes it look
that's impressive. I mean,
we haven't had to have lockers yet, but I would really like to have some.
Yeah, I mean, like that. There you hear it, guys. If anybody's got some lockers laying around for a Dana 60, send them to him. He wants some lockers. But
we'll use them.
Yeah, there you go. But I mean, that's impressive. I mean, I'm like Stephen. I was convinced. I was convinced you were locked. I thought at least the rear end was locked. I thought at least the rear end was locked.
Yeah, because that thing's got to be heavy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I've watched you cross some stuff. Yeah, I have been most of the places that I have seen in your videos. I have been where you are. And now, mind you, some of the stuff is passable. You don't need to really have a really jacked up 4-wheel drive to get where you're going. But I've seen you. I know from one place you went to that was very hard for me to get my Gladiator through. And one of the guys, this guy right here, Bobby Thurman, was actually with me. He was with me when you recovered Jay Price's Gladiator for us when we lost it. Because I'm going to show you this picture because I showed it to you before the show. Like, I messaged Jay before the show and said we were going to be talking about him tonight. But this was Jay's Gladiator when he hydro locked it, and I can't remember exactly. There's Jay. He's on. There's Jay right there.
What's up?
This is his Gladiator, and he hydro locked it, and then we pulled it out, and then I had never done any recovery stuff, like called anybody, and I had my Zolio with me, and I was contacting my wife, and I'm like, we don't know what to do. We don't know who to call. We don't know who to get us. And we ended up Jay ended up getting hold of you. And so you came out and got that, and we had to drag it. And I'm like, I was impressed that you got out there and got it. You have a video on your YouTube recovering that Gladiator. Yep. And just like I was impressed because we had a hard time where we were at, and you just went in there like, bloop. You're like, oh yeah, we're just going to drive around here. We're going to go over and get it. And I'm like, I really feel like we underperformed.
Y'all did the hard part, getting out of the mud hole. That can be the hardest part a lot of times. And fortunately, I was familiar with that road. That road's claimed a couple now, and some more that I didn't recover that I've heard stories about. But that road can get interesting.
Yeah, that was the very first recovery that we had to go get help because like we managed to pull it out, and he barreled off in there, and there's a whole story behind that. I'm not gonna talk about that. There's a whole story behind all that. Jay was there with us, and we went in there. We were all having a good time. We were laughing up. We had Jason Adams from Experiencing Arkansas was with us. Bobby Thurman was with us. We had a couple more people there with us, and Jay just nosedived right into it, and that was the end of that. And then we managed to get it out. We had a 2-door JK pull him out backwards, winched him up out of there, and got him out of the mud. And we drug it for another mile, I guess we did. Maybe a mile down, maybe half a mile down the trail. And I was like, we can't take this. We can't pull it any farther. There's no way we're going to get it out of here. We got to get some help. Yeah, pull up this right here. Yeah. Pull him up a hill, across the creek with a 10-foot strap, and then the video comes out later after you did that. And I'm like, that's Jay's Jeep. So we're all talking about it, but that's how I got to know you, who you are and everything. And then watching your stuff. But I mean, so what, okay, I'm gonna step on Stefan's toes real fast. So have you recovered more? What is the most recovered vehicle from the Ozark? It's got to be a Toyota. It has to be a Toyota.
No. Well,
No, I
I've
haven't.
I've recovered more Jeeps than any other vehicle.
Oh,
Yeah, put that in
But
your pipe.
we
Smoke.
really haven't done that many recoveries overall. So
yeah.
in when we get a recovery, usually most of our recoveries have been hydraulic vehicles.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So
but
this is not.
technically, yeah,
Yeah. Go ahead.
technically
Go ahead.
it's pretty close. You know.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's still Toyotas. It's okay. It's all right.
So
He's
Steven's
gonna
got
have
a
to
good
say this.
question.
Yes, yeah. This is Stefan we were talking about earlier, right here. This is this is Steve Westfall. So he wants to know how much braided cable versus synthetic or hard mounts versus soft mounts do you use, or is there a balance or something? I mean, what do you prefer on your rig? I'm sure it's steel cable on your winch, right?
No, actually, all my winches are synthetic.
Okay.
I run the Harbor Freight Badlands 12,000 pound winches. That's what I run on. I got two on the boom, and then I got one on the front right now. And I've got stuff fabbed up. Just haven't got the other winches yet. I'm gonna put at least three more on it. The only
Yeah.
steel cable I have is the old Holmes 440. Has like a triangulated cable piece that holds up the boom. That's a steel cable, but it's kind of just I rarely have to adjust that. It's pretty much fixed. So
Okay. Well, that's what I
the
was wondering. That's what I was looking at when I saw. I was like, well, maybe he's got steel cable on there doing that. But because nobody really wants nobody. I guess nobody runs steel cables anymore. I mean, they won't even allow them in some of the off-road parks. So
Yeah, some people still use them and they hold up better. Like I've got to replace the synthetic way more frequently because they just wear faster. But the
yeah.
safety factor to me is just well worth it, especially in the Ozarks. 'Cause things are so tight, it's hard to get out of the way. And when you're trying to get, sometimes you're just going to kind of be in a not great place. So the
Yeah.
safer your gear can be, the better.
Yeah. So a while ago you were talking about it. We kind of hinted around about this backstage a little bit. You mentioned that you had the full size truck that was off on a 4-wheeler trail that was off the MVU map. So like we were talking earlier about, being respectful for stuff like that. Out of recoveries that you see, like you talked about this one, do you see a lot of them where it's people that have wandered off the MVU or doing something they're not supposed to be doing, or has somebody, this is kind of a broad question, has somebody called you other than that guy and where they tell you where they're at, they're like, well, you're not supposed to be there. I'm not going to go get you. You're just in trouble. So, I mean, have you run into any of that stuff really?
I've run into a few more, not a whole lot. Most of the time, what happens is they'll give us a call, or a lot of times I just get a message through social media or something, and the first thing I look at is where's this thing at. That's the first thing I'm going to look at is this on a legal road? Can I get to it? Am I familiar with the road? And if it's not on a legal road, the first thing I tell them is, hey, I can't drive in there unless I get permission.
Mm-hmm.
So to go in there and get them out, I've got to call the local ranger. And if I got to do that, there's a good chance, more than likely, you're going to get a fine.
And it's a big
And most of the time when they hear that, they go, well, just hang on. And then I never hear back, and they get a hold of some buddies or something, I assume, and they get it out. I'm down for helping people, but if I go in there, I go in there, I'm going to get a ticket too, unless I get permission. So I can't just drive down an illegal road.
That's when the shady
I like
stuff
to help
happens.
people, but I'm not going to help you that much unless I get permission.
That is true. I mean, and we see it. I mean, we see it a lot. We're out there, we all try to operate and use the MVU maps as best as possible. And sometimes, which I'm an Onyx guy, I do use Gaia. I used to use Gaia specifically, but now I've kind of moved over to Onyx a little bit. And sometimes we've been, well, Steph and I have been places before. We've got out there and we're like, I don't know if I'm on the trail or not. I haven't been here before. This doesn't look right, And I think a lot of that is that, and I don't even know how to say that word. Anyway, the shady spot or the gray area that the MVU is, because there's a lot of trails that are out there that are not on the MVU map, and people are using them constantly. Locals are using them all the time. Everybody's going through there and doing that.
Yeah, I use a mixture of both. So, because when Brad was there, we've been in situations where the guide frees up, or the vice versa, where Onyx wouldn't load, and you kind of reference back and forth between the two, and it definitely helps having it. I use one for more like planning and setting up my routes, and then I'll use Onyx for trail riding stuff because it's just easier. It's more user friendly, I feel like.
Yeah. What is? I've never heard of Sandy Cat's recovery gear. Have you heard of that, Josh? You've heard of those people?
Yeah, that's actually, I run there early on. I actually ordered, when they first started making some stuff, I ordered a couple items. And then I think I posted up some stuff on social media, and they reached out and they sent me a bunch of ropes and soft shackles and I don't remember what all, a bunch of their stuff. And they've come out with more since then. And so I've been running their kinetic ropes and their soft shackles for a while, and they've been really good.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, that's cool. I didn't know who they were. I haven't heard of them. I mean, that's awesome. That's a great, David asked the question down there. I mean, that's a great deal. I mean, so there's your answer. Obviously they got good product because he's out here using this. I mean, so that's awesome.
I hadn't heard of it either though. So, I mean,
yeah, a couple of their items, the one that I really liked, and there may have been some other people that are doing it. They came out with one they call the Hitch Hero, and it's got a sheath on it, so you can actually run it just straight through your hitch, your receiver. It's kind of how it's designed. And I've done that several times, and it's been nice. But it's got an extra layer of protection. I know several other manufacturers are making that now, and maybe we're making it before, but that was one of the things they came out with.
How am I missing this? How am I missing all this stuff? Because I didn't know anything about the hitch deal like you're talking about. I'm an old school guy, so I'm a Clevis soft shackle, whatever, free saver, and I don't get stuck a whole lot. I'm trying not to pat myself on the back. I don't really do a whole lot anymore. I mean, most of my stuff is mostly campground and a little bit of rock crawling and some Forest Service road trails now. Gina, on the other hand, yeah, she has an extensive recovery gear.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't know that. I mean, that's cool. I guess I need to upgrade my recovery gear game.
I need to add some stuff to mine too, but I got what I need in a pinch, but I need to add a few items to mine.
We just recovered a side-by-side this weekend. I mean, we did a really sketchy side-by-side recovery this weekend at J3 when we were out at an event. No, I'm kidding. It was our friend Dennis Goodnight. He tore his side-by-side up, and we just drug it down a dirt road. we were making fun of the side-by-side guys. We were giving them a hard time. So, but I don't know. It's all good. But I mean, I don't know if I could do what you do, man. I mean, my luck. Well, you're doing it. You're doing it professionally. You're going out. You're doing it the right way. I would be the guy that they'd call at 2:30 in the morning. I would roll up to Jim Bob, who's 14 natural lights deep, out in the middle of a mud hole, going, "Just hook it up. Just pull my stuff out of here," And I'd be like, "I got to go home, guys." Do you run into that?
Not yet. So far, everybody's been pretty cool, and usually they're just really stressed out. And they're just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then we hopefully solve the problem for them, at least part of the problem. If your vehicle's hydrolocked, we can get it out. That's about all we can do for you.
Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, this guy, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to toss this guy on the screen real fast, because his comment, just so you can see this. So this is Ricky Turner. Okay. So Ricky is a really good friend of mine. And we're going to make fun of him really fast because he's not on the show and he can't defend himself. So
he must drive a Toyota.
No, he drives a Jeep. Ricky drives a Jeep. Ricky drives what we call micro Jeep. He started out a few years ago, and he has Frankensteined this Jeep into this amazing machine that he has now. But we went on a day trip. We were kind of driving around and stuff, and he took off with one of my friends, Steve Wilson, and they decided to cross the Strawberry River where Steve has some ground at. And Ricky sunk his Jeep up to the windshield with them in it driving it, and flooded the motor, barely got it out. And these guys pulled this Jeep apart, talking about hydrolock, pulled this Jeep apart on the ditch bank, pulled the plugs out of it, drained all the fluid out of it, and got it started and drove it back. And so he's on I don't know if you're familiar with the Jeep Talk Show, but it's a big talk show. A lot of those guys are out in Moab and stuff, and Ricky's a pretty regular guest on there. He's friends with those guys, and they got on, and they've called him the Arkansas Aquaman. So, but he successfully got his Jeep up and running after hydrolocking it on a ditch bank in the middle of Strawberry River in Arkansas, and I think he had 4 wrenches and like 3 people there, and they got that going. And
he turned that thing into a submarine.
He did. It was like, he has video on his dash of him going in the river, and they're like, no, you're going the wrong way. And it just steadily goes like this, and water just rushes up. It's just rushes up everything, and they get it out and get it started and drive it off. I had to talk about that because I always give him crap.
Sometimes you can do it if it hasn't bent a rod or something like that. Sometimes you can blow the water out of there and keep it rolling, put some new fluids in it.
But I mean, so we know you've recovered. We know you've recovered Toyotas because of this.
Yep.
That sucker was in there like 35 years. What are you talking about?
It was in there a long time.
Tell me the story behind this Toyota, because I almost positively think one of the guys that I work with was driving this 2 weeks ago to work. It looks just like it.
Oh, that was a good one. So actually, I saw that when I'm part of some of the canoe clubs and stuff here in Arkansas, and I'd seen some posts about it from some of the guys. There's a whole crew of guys that does river cleanups, and they do a lot of really cool work. They pull out tires. They've recovered like dumpsters. I mean, anything that gets washed down the river, a lot of them are retired, and they'll go out and just clean up the rivers. And they posted up some pictures of this thing in the river, and so I ended up messaging them and getting with them and figuring out a way to go down there and get it out before it got washed on down the creek. So it was a really cool recovery. That's actually one of our biggest videos, is that recovery of that one. It was a good one.
Yeah, looking at
I'm pretty sure it's in Jamie's backyard.
I'm almost positive that's Jamie Flannery's vehicle. He probably has a title of that. I don't know who it belongs to. But I mean, how long do you think that was in there? I mean, that was in there a minute, I guess. What?
Yeah, I know it was in there at least a year from what the guy said that had paddled the creek. The story kind of goes, the guy drove it in there, got it stuck, abandoned it, and he was on like some private property. And then I don't know the whole story, what happened to the guy. Something happened and he wasn't ever going to be able to come get it or whatever. And so it was just abandoned. And then we got permission from the property owner and then from the Arkansas Game and Fish. And it happened to be close to a road so we could get to it. So we went in there and got it before the creek came up again and washed it to no telling where.
Was it hard to get out of there?
Yeah.
Did he get out of there?
Was it hard to get out of there? Because I mean,
no, it's actually pretty easy. It took a little while. We didn't know exactly what we were getting into. We know it was in a creek. We'd seen pictures of it with guys in kayaks in the bed of the truck. They could paddle into the bed of the truck. That's how deep it was, at least at one point. Fortunately, we took 2 vehicles. We had a canoe, had wetsuits. We just didn't know how deep the creek was going to be. And then we got there and it was like a foot deep. And then we were getting made fun of to bring in a canoe and stuff. We had no clue till we got there. And it was a pretty good drive. So we had to go prepared and we got it. So that's what counts.
Better be prepared than not need need it and not have it.
Yeah. But that's cool. I mean, like, you pull that out, you get that out of there. That's obviously good for the Ozarks and everything. That's good for the environment. That's good to get all that trash out of there, because people leave trash everywhere. Like, I mean, I've tore stuff off my Jeep trailing and stuff like that. I didn't ever just leave a bumper. I mean, like, I just don't. Yeah,
people dump stuff. It gets crazy, and that's one of the things I want to do more of. We've done a few videos on it, and I want to spend more time doing it. Just life and work and everything, getting the time to do it. But doing cleanups is one thing I'd want to do, because with the truck I can go out. I've actually got a spot marked on my maps right now. There's like a dryer down the side of a really steep embankment, so dragging it out by hands is going to be a complete pain. So I'm going to run out there with the wrecker at some point, run a winch line down, just drag it up, throw it in a trailer, and haul it out of there just to get it cleaned up, because I don't like looking at it when I'm cruising this pretty road and there's a dryer down here.
That's that's a pet peeve that I have. That's a pet peeve I have. It's just like, you go out and we go out and we do this and we go out and we see a lot of stuff and we're out in the woods and everything. And then you go and I'm like, man, I'm just enjoying this day. I'm 2 miles into the Ozarks, and all of a sudden you go across there and then there's a refrigerator. You're like, who drove out here to dump a refrigerator?
Yeah, like, how is that practical? You could have scrapped that out for $2, at least.
You could have just in your yard with the other refrigerator that you threw out there. I mean,
it's probably that guy that's got 35 lawnmowers in his yard too. So
probably.
I don't get that. I mean, I just don't understand the point of doing that, But I do have to ask you this question, because I have seen this several times. I've driven past some older cars, like some stuff from the 40s, stuff like that, old cars that are down on the hillside. Have you ever just thought, like, man, I just want to hook up to that and see if I can drag that joker out of the trees and get it up here? but you don't know who it belongs to. It's just, you can't just grab it. I mean, I guess,
Yeah, there's actually a couple spots I know of like that I want to. There's one that I definitely want to try to clean up, but I'll have to get permission from the Forest Service to do it. It's kind of off of a little cliff, and it's just a dump down in there. But there is like an old, probably '60s model car off that thing. But it kind of depends. Like if it's a really old one, then at that point it's almost like a historic relic, and it's kind of cool looking, So some of those I wouldn't really want to pull out of there.
There's one on day 2. There's one on day 2, isn't there, Stephen? When you go backwards on day 2, and then you go around and you're going down, there's an older car laying off in some trees down there. You can only see it in the wintertime. But it's I remember seeing it because when Jeff and I were there, we saw it. I think it's on day 2. It might be on day 3. If Angelita was in here, she'd tell me exactly where it was at. But
you're talking about that one when we left the restaurant there.
Yeah, by Slim, by Hillbilly Slim. We blew the tires out. We blew
the in that ravine. Yeah.
Last of day 1. There we go. It's on the last of day 1. Yeah. Yeah, and it's down in it's right there down the ravine. Yeah.
So how does that wrecker do with like off camber sections of the trail? Does it flex much, or does that bedside kind of limit what you got going on?
The bedside doesn't. I mean, it flexes pretty good. It's not going to outflex anything too crazy, but it outflexes a lot of new full size vehicles for sure. So
I bet it's way more capable than 90% of the new full size vehicles. Oh, look, there's Dennis. Hey, Dennis, what's up, buddy? Put that snake up. That's my friend Dennis. He we were at he works at J3, and we were there doing some stuff, and he was putting snakes in my tent and little rubber snakes because I'm horrified of snakes. He was throwing snakes on me. He was, that's what friends are for right there.
You're just lucky you didn't put one in your fridge. It was
a real one.
He put a snake in my tent, in my rooftop tent. Not a real snake, but he put yeah. No, he put a real snake in there. We'd still be fist fighting. We would still be fist fighting.
So every time you open your fridge, that's what we thought about. It just did never happen. We got interrupted by the horse stampede.
No, we're not. We're not. Look. Yeah. No, we're not. I'm horrified of snakes, in case you know that. I'm horrified of snakes. Yeah. And Tim, thanks, Tim. Appreciate you telling me you saw him throw a snake in there. Yep, appreciate it. Yeah. But he's a good friend of mine, and he did that. He gave himself up because he kept coming back to camp every 15 minutes to see what I was doing and wanted to know when I was going to pack up. So I was like, and then they told me he put a snake in there, so I had to shake every single thing out of my tent before I did that. So, but anyway, back off the subject. Back of cats. back off the subject. I mean, if you want, I'll throw this out there, dude. I mean, because I would like to do this. If you decide on a weekend that you want to go do some cleanup like that, I will round up some people and we will come out there and help you remove some stuff and help you do it. I mean, I would love to go. I've never been there for anything like that before. So, I mean, I would love to watch it. I'd love to come out there and help.
Yeah, it's usually hard to get people to come out and do it. Honestly, we had one. I didn't put it on. Another guy put it on and put it in some Facebook groups, and it was him and one other guy, and me and my wife and our kids were the only people that showed up. But we cleaned up a couple roads and got quite a bit of stuff out of there. And I thought about trying to organize something a little more in depth to try to get some cleanup stuff going. But yeah,
if you want to do that, I'll tell you right now. If you want to do that, jump over to the Overland 870 Facebook page, get in there, post on there that you want to do a trail cleanup, that you want to remove some stuff like that, and I guarantee you that people will show up and go to that. You will not be out there for yourself. I can promise you. I mean, I will show up and go to it. I guarantee you, because that's something that we all are in our little group that we do. We're big proponents of cleaning up the trails. We're big proponents of making sure everything gets to stay open. We don't want trails shut down. We want everybody to be responsible because we enjoy it. We don't want to go out and cut down a bunch of trees to make a bypass. We want to make sure everything's good. And if you want to do a trail cleanup, I will definitely put it in Overland 870, and we will make it happen. I mean,
something could be definitely coordinated for sure.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I mean, that's not a problem. I don't think you'll have any issues
Oh
with that.
no.
Yeah, one of the hardest parts, other than getting volunteers, is also just having places to send people, having done enough scouting to know, okay, this road's bad, this area's bad, here's some areas. So, and have you all heard of the Sons of Smoky app and the work that they do, especially out west?
No, I have not heard about this. Let's hear about it. What is it?
So
Tell me
it's an app, and basically you can go on there and mark, like if you see something out there, a pile of trash, you can mark it. I think you can drop pictures in there, and
Mhm.
it's a like a nationwide thing. I know a bunch of people out west are more involved with it. I don't think there's very many people in the Ozarks and Arkansas that do it, but you can
Mhm.
mark it on there, and then other people can pop on there, look at the map, and be like, oh yeah, they marked there was a pile of old mattresses over here. I got nothing to do this weekend. I'll run over there and clean that up, and then you can mark in the app that it's been cleaned up. So it makes it easy where people, if you just run that and then mark things when you see them, then someone like me that's got a truck and a trailer, maybe it's a hard obstacle, a pile of tires or something. Not anybody can load up a bunch of tires in their Jeep or whatever, but I can drag a trailer out there, maybe winch them up on the road if they're hard to get. And
Well, see,
it
like,
just gives a
right.
way for more people to scout, and then you can go attack it.
This is the guy you need to hook up with right here. Okay, so DS Customs, that's Don Newsom. So he's a friend of ours in here.
Yeah.
So like he knows these guys. Part of Gambler 500. He said he knows them. So what you need to hook up with this guy because he was just posting in the chats a while ago that he would love to come out and help do that. And also my buddy Rev here. I don't know if you know Benji from Midwest Adventure Outfitters. Benji's one of
I
our
know the
sponsors.
name. I've seen some of his stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Benji. Okay, so like looks like Benji and Charlie have been working about trying to do a trail cleanup and stuff like that. And Benji is huge into community stuff like that. He's just like the rest of us. We're all into that, maintaining the environment that we've got so we can continue to go out and enjoy all that. So I can put you in touch with Benji if you'd like to, or you can reach out to him. He's super easy to talk to. But I see a trail cleanup coming up. I mean,
it can certainly be done. I got the
I
equipment to haul stuff out, so
yeah,
it's just a matter of finding it all and then getting it picked up.
I gotta pick up my feral chick outdoor patch that I got.
They got patches. I need one.
They got patches. Yeah, they got them when they went to Maris. I stole Gina's because Jesse didn't give me one.
You're getting beat up tonight.
I'm gonna get beat up. Yeah, nobody's home but me right now. I'm in my circus tent outside waiting for it to rain. So yeah. But yeah, they'll be home tonight. I'm gonna give them. Oh, Tiff's here. No, the other one will be here soon later.
Busted.
You said feral chicks 3 times and one of them appeared. It's just like Beetlejuice. But no, I mean, I'm game for that. I think that's a great idea, dude. I mean, I think you should.
I think it'd be cool.
You know what I'm going to do right now? Watch this. Hang on. I'm going to be I'm going to be on camera, but off camera for just a second. I'm going to be on the book of faces. Let's see here. We're going to pop this into the chat real fast. Y'all can keep talking. Don't watch me type because I have to look at the keyboard.
It's okay. I do it too.
2 fingers.
Yeah.
You just move them around. You don't have to have it all like this.
I move the keyboard. I type like this. This is how I type.
Yeah. No, you keep your hand in the middle and just move it around. You don't have to do all that professional stuff. I can type just as fast.
All right, let's see here. All right, so it's up. So we've posted it now. So we have I got a trail cleanup. All right, so I just posted a trail cleanup. So we'll do that. I'm going to post it. And then we'll see what everybody says. And then we'll find somebody that wants to run it and get with you. And if you can pick a date when you can do it, or you can, whatever you want to do. If you want to do it, I'm game for doing this. We're invested now. It's going to happen.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
We're invested. It's going to happen now. So
it'd be cool to get one of them little high side, like old military trailers or something. Throw all of it in.
Well, I mean, he said he has.
We'll fill one of those up quick. So I've got several different trailers, and we could, even if we can get people to pick it up and then put it in specific areas, and then I can roll through, even if it takes me multiple days to go through with trailers and pick it up, because you may be able to only get stuff so far. it gets a little tricky. Like you'll find things like chunks of concrete, piles of shingles, tires, stuff that's just hard to move and hard to get out of there.
Yeah.
How does it get out there? I mean, it's like it doesn't make any sense. It is
exactly.
I mean, are aliens dropping it off in the woods? I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to get it out there, but they do it.
It's like
it's
really
just like that village idiot that run up on my camp at Bigfoot Hollow. He had a 2-wheel drive long wheelbase truck and a 16-foot trailer. And I swear to you, he missed his turn to go to the scrapyard because there was a bunch of junk on his trailer.
So Ricky asked a question here. I mean, we didn't even talk about that. So he's like, is it an insurance? Like when you go recover somebody, I know you got to charge them because your time's not free. Is it like, does the insurance pay you, or do you just charge them and they get the money back from the insurance, or how does that work? Because I deal with insurance all the time, so I don't even know how this works.
Yeah. So currently I just do it as a volunteer basis. So we don't charge anything. I'm not technically a licensed tow company by the state. I just have an old tow truck and we go help people out. So that's how we roll right now. Eventually I'd like to get further along on that. But the other problem with it is when I started, there really wasn't anybody in Arkansas doing it, but there's more people now. It's become so popular on YouTube and stuff that there's more people doing it. So if you're thinking, I'm going to get into off-road recovery, well, you better be ready to do it for free because there's already someone else out there that is. So that's why we don't do a lot of recoveries, because there's other people that do them and also do them for free. But that's also kind of nice. It gets spread around, and most of the time when you're in that situation, it's going to be a pain to get insurance to cover it. And it's everything about it's just difficult. So it works out.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, like, I'll be honest with you, man. When I look at Arkansas Offroad Recovery, stuff like that, you're the only thing that pops up. Like,
there are some. It's just knowing who they are. Like there's some people over in Ozark that mostly do side-by-side recovery. Like they've got a side-by-side built out to recover broken side-by-sides. So that's probably part of the reason I don't get many calls for side-by-side.
It comes with a cooler and some Kid Rock speakers and an onboard Natty Light dispenser.
Yep.
I mean, you're in a good area for doing it. For full-size vehicles or anything larger than a side-by-side. You're in a real good area to be set up that way. Yeah,
we're based out of Russellville, so we can run straight up into the Ozarks in a very short period of time, and then we can also run south right into the Ouachitas, which we've done.
I'm going to be completely honest right now. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Now that I know that it doesn't cost anything, I'm going to do some stupid shit. Just playing. No,
I'm going to ignore your calls.
No, I'm not good. No, I'm just saying no.
He's putting you on the blocked list.
He's putting me on the blocked list because, like, that's my biggest fear. I mean, that's my biggest fear in the Ozarks. I mean, being in pansy mode, I'm like, or whatever they call it. We get out there and which there's usually 3, 4, 5 of us. Hey, Opie's made it to the house. Hey, Opie. So,
Opie.
We get out there and we get to doing stuff, and it goes through my head. Immediately goes through my head. I'm like, okay, Bradley, it's 4 hours to your house from where we're at. So you're not that mechanically inclined and you don't have this stuff. He said, if you break something similar, you can handle it. You can do it. I'm good. I can get out of there if I have to. But if I snap an axle or bust my front diff, rear diff, whatever it is, I'm like, then I'm gonna have to. Luckily, I have a tent, so I can stay in it until somebody comes and gets me. But I'm like, I don't want to pay $10,000 to get out of the woods. So now I feel a little more comfortable with doing ignorant stuff. And I would not call you at midnight to come get me out of a mud hole. Brad,
the more interesting it is, the better the views are going to be when I put the video on YouTube. So,
yeah, there you go. I mean, like this one, like talking about putting a video on YouTube. Like, apparently, there's a story behind this. This vehicle right here. So
I'm pretty sure I've seen this truck before.
Probably there are some pictures posted in some of the groups when he was going through the trail, and then this happened.
So tell us about this individual recovery right here, because the word again screams that this is not the first time.
Well, it actually was. The thumbnail was kind of just to grab attention, but it was on the same road that we got Jay's Jeep off of, potentially the same mud hole. So that same area got another one, and there's definitely been others that I haven't recovered, but have been killed by those same mud holes in there. But yeah, that one, he was cruising the Ozark Overland Adventure Trail and hit a mud hole. I still don't know what actually happened. Like Jay's Jeep, when you pulled the dipstick on that thing, it was chocolate milk. There was obviously water in everything, in the oil and everything. But this Silverado, we helped him work on it for a while and try to figure it out. And we I think it's something electronic that got fried, but we could not figure it out. He ended up having to haul it back out of state. I still don't know exactly what caused it, but we know it was a deep mud hole, and then the truck just wouldn't start.
Well, I can tell you exactly why Jay's Jeep had chocolate milk in it. We watched it. I'm gonna go ahead and tell the story because it's funny. So we were going through there. Is that where he got hung up in this picture right here? I'm gonna go and put the picture back on the stage. So where he got hung up, Jay's Jeep is a 5-speed, or it was a 5-speed. And so we're going through the trail, and I'm coming through, and everybody else starts to go around the bypass. I can't remember if I was like the second or third vehicle in the convoy, whatever, but everybody else skips this hole. And I go off into this hole. And I get on the radio, and I'm like, do not go where I just went. I said, do not go into this. I'm snorkeled and everything. Water was up on the front of my Jeep, and I got down in it pretty good, and I started coming back out of it. Excuse me. And the next thing I know, I've cleared everything, and I'm going around, and I hear Jay stuck. And he goes right off into it. And he's still running. His Jeep is still running at the time, but this picture is kind of deceptive if you look at it. The mud, if you can look, you see right there where the cable is and everything in the front of his bumper. Mud was up above water was above his lights. And the whole front end was just basically stuck down like this. And he was still bubbling a little bit. And we were like, don't shut it off. And it dies. And we back it up. We get it pulled back out. And it looks like somebody's just dumping 50 pounds of chocolate milk out of it. We pop open the breather. The breather is just full of mud and water shooting out of the exhaust. It's falling through every weld in the muffler. Any place there was a hole where water could go out or go in, it went into that. And we were like, it'll be okay. We're like, it's fine. It's fine. It'll be all right. And we're like, he's like, of course he's just wrecked because his Jeep is just, we know it's total. We all know it does. We know it's total. There's not going to be fixing it. And he gets out, and he is completely loaded down with all of his gear because we were camping and jumping around between spots. And we get out there, we tow it through all the trees, through the bypasses, and get to a spot where we can park it, where I guess where you picked it up at, and towed it back the opposite direction. And we're peeling his Jeep. We're like trying to figure out where to put his stuff because I overpack. And so my Gladiator was completely full. Bobby's Gladiator was full. Jason's Jeep was full. He had dogs with him. Tim's Jeep was full. Everybody's stuff was just full of stuff. So he's got a Jackery 1000. He's got his big ice cold fridge in there. He's got all of his stuff, his rooftop tent, everything's on there. His roto packs, everything's all over this Gladiator. And we managed to squeeze as much stuff into the cab and get everything off that we can save. And we take off, and no more than 2 minutes down the road, we run into Cooter and Pickle Rick on the dadgum. One guy's on a 3-wheeler with no shirt on, and he just looks like he has been up for 14 days looking for all the scrap wire he can find. And then we got this other guy, and he hits the guy comes up out of the mud hole, hits my Gladiator on the side with a 4-wheeler because he didn't want to wait for us to go by. He smashes my Gladiator, and we're sitting there going, there's not going to be anything left on that Jeep when we get out of here. I said, as soon as we get down the road, they're going to break the windows out of it, and they're going to, because this guy looks like he was getting ready to, he was still in burnt aluminum foil. If you have any idea what I'm talking about, that guy was picking up everything he could find. But luckily, I guess when you got it, everything was still there. of it.
I don't know what was all in it when you left it, but nothing was broken or appeared missing. So
So I'm
it survived.
Totally misjudged Cooter and Pickle Rick when they were out there just side by side and through. I mean, it was just the weirdest thing because we hadn't seen anybody all day long. And we came around that corner, and here's this guy, and he is just blowed plumb up, and just crashing into stuff and driving up a tree and everything. I'm like, Jay, I'm sorry, bro. Call your insurance guy as soon as we get out of here. Make sure your insurance is good. Take a picture of your Jeep. Make sure you know everything is on there because it's fixing to be gone when we leave. But no, it worked out. So
yeah,
everybody's it's back to the short jokes. Everybody's making fun of me because I'm short again. But
your wife says every puddle's deep to you.
I know everything is there. It's all deep. So, okay. Bag of cats. So, what is the weirdest vehicle that you have recovered? Is it always just been Toyotas and Chevy trucks and Gladiators? You haven't pulled a Subaru or a
I haven't done a Subaru. I know there's been some that have gotten out there recently. I think there was maybe a Kia or a Hyundai car that went down a road, but there's some other people that just volunteers pulled them out. The one that was kind of interesting was actually down in the Ouachita. Well, they've all been interesting, but this one was a Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk, and it was also sunk and hydrolocked. And that one took us all day to get out because it was just so far down in there. It took all day because we took 2 trucks down in the trailer, and then so we take the tow truck in and we get them out of the rough road back to a good dirt road. Then we load them on a trailer, and then we haul them back to wherever they want to go, dealership, mechanic shop, where insurance comes with another record and picks it up wherever we got to take it. So that one took a while, but that Trailhawk was toast.
I'm really surprised sometimes by some of the stuff that I see on the trail. I mean, we see a lot. I've seen some S10s. I mean, I've run across some people in some S10 pickup trucks out there, with some knobbies on the back going out and doing trail stuff like that, which whatever you got, do it. I mean, if it'll get down there, go.
Oh, yeah.
Go do it. But I could not see myself one day just driving down the road going, man, this 84 Toyota Corolla, I'm sure thinking that we can do, day one. There's no problem with that. We can do day one, but you see that stuff on the internet all the time, man. I mean, I know it's like, how do you get there? Yeah, Ford Rangers. We've seen a bunch of Ford Rangers. I mean, but now now you're talking like 80 model Ford Rangers. You can go anywhere when you stay on the pedal. Yeah, that is true. But I mean, like the 84 Ford Ranger, I don't see, a whole lot of those out there going to do it. Now you see the newer Rangers. They're pretty capable. Some of those are. I mean, but I've seen Corollas, man. I've seen some Moab videos. I've seen some people, I've seen some other, out recovering stuff. But Corolla, dude, I just can't see me and baby mama and the 2 kids in the back with the Walmart pickup. We're just going to cut through trail 3462, just cut right across right here, and we're buried out here in the mud. We don't know how we got here,
Yeah, it happens a lot more than you think. And people take stuff in there places where you wouldn't think they'd go. But the overlanding community kind of has this thing where they think they've got to have a lot of things, at least 35s, preferably 40s. Here we go. And I'm just saying, a Toyota Sienna, I've seen them go more places than a lot of these Jeeps. So, give it to a local. They'll figure out how to get something out there that you wouldn't believe would make it through.
I know, man. That's the Overlander. I'm gonna bust on us Overlander guys. I'm gonna bust on us. And there, I have been told by numerous people, there is nothing in the Ozarks or the Ouachitas that you cannot do with 33s. There's nothing out there you can't do with 33s, 35s, and stock rig. I've seen plenty of people do plenty of stuff in stock rigs, and then we roll out there in the Swiss Army knife. We've had the whole target outload. We're loaded out and everything, and we're filmed, and we do it because that's just who we are. Yeah, look right here. Yeah, we do. We do it just because who we are. We're out there, and I'm guilty. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my hands. I'm guilty. Getting out and making that 4-inch tall rock looks like we just crawled over, Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, it's all about that camera angle. You can make it all look technical, but there
Dude,
definitely are some difficult sections in the Ozarks.
there
It's
are
kind of
some,
hit
yeah.
and miss, and some of them got a lot harder. 5 years ago, I'd have said, yeah, 33s will get you anywhere. Now it's getting, there's definitely some trails that you're going to need 35s to get through. If you got 33s, you're definitely going to want some rock sliders, or just be okay with some potentially significant body damage.
Well, I mean, we did, when my wife got her JL, which she had a Rubicon JL, which we got an inch and a half lift when you buy it from the factory, whatever. She had 33s on there, and we went out and she did a lot of black trails at Maris, and she took it down there and did adventure. Her did that. She came back with some scuffed up stuff and everything, and we've done the Ozarks in it numerous times with everything out there. But I was like, gotta have 37s. I gotta have 37s. She won't let me have 40s, but I got 37s, and now she's got 37s, and she's got 4 inches of lift. Her Jeep is way bigger than mine. She's out driving all over the place, rock crawling and doing all this stuff. And I'm camping. And but there are some spots, like you said, there are some spots in the Ozarks where you need a little bit of lift, you need a little bit of tires, but generally you can get out there and do it. But we oversell it.
Most of you can do.
Yeah, I'm just honest with you. We oversell it. That you can overland in a pickup truck with a 5-gallon jug of gas in the back of it, in your sleeping bag. You don't have to have roto packs. You don't have to have all the stuff that we have, and we do it. I mean, we showboat a little bit. I mean, we do. That's just.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Gina don't ever get her tires off the ground.
Yeah, I know. She don't ever do anything. She's all over the place. She's famous. she's Maris Adventure Park famous. She's the famous one out of the family. But yeah, I mean, we oversell it. Overlanders oversell that stuff, and that we did that. We drove all the price up on all the stuff with the overland tax. But
well, the overland stuff's kind of changed the trails too a little bit from time over the years.
Yeah, it has.
Dad's got a friend that lives up, down the road from OARC, and
yeah.
he said back in the day they did all of it in a 2-wheel drive S10, and put some mutters on the back and send it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, that's back when you didn't care. When most of the rigs you carried out there was worth $8,000. Now you're running around, your rig's $65,000-$70,000. You don't want to drive it into a tree if you don't have to.
Oh, but, yeah.
I mean, we've tore so much stuff off our Jeeps, it's ridiculous. So that's
Jeeps
what I
are
would
like
worried.
Legos, so you can take pieces off of them.
That's what I would be worried about going out and recovering stuff, because I don't even want to stop and pull somebody out of a ditch. I get out there and I guess I would pull somebody out of a mud hole with a wrecker. I'd rip the rear end out of it. They're like, "You owe me for my rear end." Like, do you have a waiver?
Sometimes that's what it takes to get it out of there. So I mean, play those games.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good question. Like, do you have like when you go out there, do you have like something you got to sign when you go to pull them out? I mean, do you do that? You have to.
We haven't done anything. We probably should, but if it was really sketchy, then yeah, we might be like, all right, hey, look, and a lot of times we'll just put it on camera. We'll just film.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
We'll do a walk around to the vehicle when we get there. So if they're like, oh, that door wasn't caved in, and like, well, here's the video when we showed up on site and it was already caved in. We just got video evidence of that kind of thing if there were some sort of incident.
Smart, because I probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably be like, hook it up, just go with it, Jay. Yeah, well, we couldn't haul it off. We're just going to leave you here. Sorry.
Yeah, most of the time they're not as bad as they look. Once you get there, you assess the situation. And it especially helps if you're familiar with some of the roads. I'm not familiar with all of them, but there's quite a few that I've been down over the years. So that helps if you know what direction is going to be the best to get the thing out. So it helps to have a little bit of knowledge.
Do you have some background in towing and recovery, or did you just willy-nilly into this?
Oh, I just jumped into it for fun. I got no background in it other than I've been driving for years and done self-recovered myself numerous times. Watched a ton of videos, but yeah, I just kind of hopped into it.
That's our style right there.
That is it. That's what I wanted to hear. I didn't want to hear, I spent 2.5 years in college learning how to recover. I was like, no, man, I got a chain and I went to town. So
this Ford Ranger pulled him out. I got a chain and a Ford Ranger.
Yeah.
That'll get the job done.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate you coming on and talking to us tonight and kind of sharing your stories and stuff and everything. And, I'm like I said, I'm back to the trail cleanup thing. I'm game for that. Like I posted in the group chat a while ago.
Yeah.
I'll send you a message if you want to do that and you'd like to head it up, man. We'll make a big spectacle out of it. We'll get out there. We'll film it. We'll haul all the trash off. We'll do all that stuff for you, man, and help you do anything that we can to keep our Ozarks operating and cleaned up and all that stuff.
Shoot,
So,
yeah, we can just out of it.
Yeah, pick some areas that need to be cleaned up and pick some spots to put everything, and then we can roll out and pick a lot of it up. So it'd be cool to see a lot of stuff get cleaned up.
Yeah. Benji just jumped on the show. There's the man right there. So like I said, Benji's one of our sponsors with Midwest Adventure Outfitters. And he's, like they said earlier, he was talking about doing some cleanup and stuff like that. But Benji, we posted in the Facebook group just a second ago, Josh is wanting to possibly get together and do some trailside cleanup and get some of that junk out of the Ozarks and everything. And I think you two need to hook up and we need to get something figured out. Maybe we can do a big cleanup. If you get a chance for that, just, hit me up or hit him up or whatever. But that would be really cool. And I invited you. I really wish you'd still come out to, Whiskey and Waypoints. If you want to come out and hang out with us for that event that we're getting ready to have in November, we can flip over some side-by-sides or something and we can all learn how to recover them. So that would be. Oh, there you go. Benji said he's got some stuff, has something in the works too, man. You two need to make a connection and get this going on because we've already decided 870 is going to jump on board and we're going to help out. So Benji is a master strategist when it comes to doing stuff like this. He's like the chess king of all this kind of stuff. But I want to touch base on a couple things real fast before we end the show. Next week, the girls will be back on for the Marist Adventure Recap. They're going to be on here talking about all the cool stuff that they did. I believe it's going to be Gina and Jesse, and they're going to have a couple guests on here too. And then we are going to, after that, we're following up. I will not be on the show the following week. Dan is going to run the show because we are having the Rusty from Rusty's Off-Road. He's going to be on here. He's going to be talking about suspension stuff and everything. So all you guys that are, suspension guys and off-road builders and all that stuff, Don, you guys get on here. Dan's going to have a really cool show doing that. And after that, got a couple more things coming up. We are going to do the Whiskey and Waypoints launch on Monday the 12th. So what's going to happen there is tickets are going to go live at 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday the 12th next week. Who's that guy at the bottom sleeping? That would be Stefan.
I ain't sleeping.
The tickets will only be listed in Overland 870 for 5 days. So those tickets are going to be in there for you guys. So you'll get the first shot at the 150 spots that are there for the tickets. After that, it'll switch over to natural state. Everybody else will start seeing that stuff. So if you want to grab a ticket and get the early bird pricing and get the extra stuff in for all the tent drawings and the giveaways, I mean, we got like $42,000 worth of prizes that we're giving away for this charity event. So get in there, get in the auctions, get in for the celebrity or the charity gambling that we're going to do for Newton County Food Bank. And then, of course, the Battle Heart Foundation, we're raising that for veterans. So if you guys want to get involved in that, it's going to happen Monday. Grab your tickets early because once we hit the 150 mark, that's where it stops at. There will be no more tickets issued for that at J3. So get it fast. Get it fast. We got it. I mean, Rough Country's going to be there. 4x4 Colorado's going to be there. Midwest Adventure Outfitters is going to be there. There's going to be a bunch of people coming in and getting together, and we're going to blow this charity event plumb out of the water because that's our end of the year deal for Whiskey and Waypoints. So remember, it's November 7, 8, and 9. And Josh, I really want you to come. If you want to come, I'll cover your ticket. Just come hang out with us, meet all the Overland 870 people, come hang out, have a good time. I mean, we're going to be doing a bunch of fun horseback riding. There's going to be guided trail rides. There's hot tubs, saunas, catered meals, live music. Everything is all going on. And it's just an amazing event location at J3 at the Gap. If you can't see it over here. Jasper,
that's November 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah, 7, 8, and 9. So if you don't know what J3 at the Gap is, you need to go look up J3 at the Gap. Okay, go check it out. This is the weight limit on the horses is 345 pounds. You're safe. Already been on one. So go check out J3 at the Gap. Look at the property. It's amazing. It's a hidden gem there in Jasper, and it's not going to be hidden for very much longer. It's not going to be hidden for very much longer. So get out there and check it out. And one more time, Josh, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for putting yourself out there to go out and help people who are moronic like me and Jay and everybody else, because we really need all the help we can get, and it's very great that you are doing that. So
no problem.
If there's anything that you want to plug or anything you want to do, go ahead and list your channel right now so we can get you some more subscribers over there if you want them. You know, whatever you got.
Just look up Arkansas Offroad Recovery. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all that. So
yeah. Be careful, because we're gonna start tagging you in ignorant stuff that we do. That just happens.
Oh boy.
I mean, you're gonna tag everything, pizza recipes. It happens. It happens all the time. Nope. It doesn't get away from us. So guys, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you come in next week. I know there's going to be 42 million of y'all watching the girls talk about Maris, because they have some amazing stories, and they want to share those with y'all, and it's super cool. They had a great time. So thank you all for tuning in. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Whiskey and Waypoints goes live Monday. Get ready, guys. It's going to be crazy. We'll talk to you later. Stephen, thanks for coming in, buddy, helping out.
Absolutely. Josh, anytime.
I will see you later, probably, now that I know that you're
coming in.
Thanks for coming on, Josh.
Yeah, thank you very much. Everybody have a good night. I appreciate you very much. As always, see you on the trail.